Motors has stopped manufacturing vehicles for sale in India. The American auto giant has decided to cease local production for the Indian market due to non-profitability. This means that popular cars under the brands such as Figo or Aspire or Ecosport will be sold only till inventories last. However, luxury cars such as the Mustang will be sold via imports. The company is also planning to wind down manufacturing of vehicles for export at its plants in Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Now, manufacturing of engines for the exports, though, will continue. So, Ford winding down operations in India, citing non-profitability. They've also, in fact, released a detailed statement. We'll get some more on that in just a bit. Utkarsh joins us, in fact, for details on that. Utkarsh, just explain to us why exactly Ford has done this and how they're winding up the operations. In fact, they've drawn a distinction between making of the vehicles and making of the engines in India and the reasons for the same.
So, Aarti, if anybody who was following the Indian markets, the automotive market, it was more of a question of when then if when it comes to Ford moves out of India. Let me tell you, this is a company in the past 5 to 6 years. One was Harley Davidson, one was General Motors. So last year, Ford had gotten into a contract where Mahindra and Mahindra was buying Ford's India assets and will be taking care of all the capacities and all the plants. But when the management of Mahindra and Mahindra finished, and after Pawan Goenka, Anisha came over, they decided they do not want to carry on with this plan. And they do not see profitability there. And that is when they pulled the plug of that deal of buying out Ford. From then, Ford was really looking at, Ford India was looking at the global, headquarters, whether they want to pump in more money into the Indian market or not. I mean, Ford has been there for almost 20, 25 years, but as we speak at this point of time, apart from the Ecosport and the Endeavour, you do not really have any big model which comes to your name despite having a good range there. They have not been able to make money. They have been incurring losses for a very long time. And that is when Ford decided finally to move out of the Indian market. What will they do? They will sell the imported Mustang and the variants of it. They have asked the dealers to stay with them, to service all the clients which are there at this point of time in India, and to sell all the imported vehicles and the electric vehicles which they sell and they will be getting to India. But more or less, the manufacturing plant is done. It doesn't employ speaking about an impact of almost 4,000 employees, and that's the direct impact of the 4,000 employees. And they said that they will be starting talks with the unions and employees thereof. But the dealers who have invested money and the dealers who have, the dealers have indirectly in a way employed people. There will be a lot of job losses as well. But the people who have already bought the vehicle, Ford has committed that the services will continue, and they do continue. General Motors moved down almost 4 or 5 years back, but still the cars are able to get service. But yeah, it's the third company moving out of India, the third American company in fact, and it's now the Koreans, Japanese and Indians who really know how to sell, manufacture in India and for India.
Now, Utkarsh, this also comes at a time when SIAM data reveals that there's been an uptick in the July sales of passenger vehicles. In terms of the overall impact, in terms of the overall picture of the auto sector in India, what does this really tell us?
So this gives you a sense of the fact that, so it's not, if you look at the auto sector, the whole sector has been doing well. But if you look at the ability of the American car makers, or in fact the European as well, Volkswagen has been struggling, and they have been pumping a lot of money to understand the Indian market. It's the Korean car makers, the Japanese car maker, and the India Tata and Mahindra who have kind of understood how the Indian market works. If you to read a lot about the Indian economy or the Indian auto market from this will be actually wrong. This is basically Ford not able to understand what the Indian consumer wants and the kind of products which really work in India. For the longest time, Ford has an issue of high cost of maintenance, and when you used to go to the service centers, the cost was really high. They really tried to get that perception down. They really tried to get. In fact, there was a big campaign which they ran that it's not really expensive, keeping a Ford car. But then the perception had stuck, and they were not really able to get any exciting products into the Indian markets. With respect to the auto industry, it's more of a Ford global rejig which they are looking at where they don't really want to put in a lot of money in the Indian market right now.
Utkarsh, thanks so much for that. Let me also take that to Renuka Kriplani, Executive Editor of Autocar. Renuka, thanks so much for speaking to Mirror Now. Appreciate you taking time out. Is this an America-specific problem or an American car manufacturer-specific problem? Because we have seen Ford pull out now. We've also seen GM and Harley Davidson in the past. But at the same time, the passenger car sales is seeing an uptick in India. How do you reconcile these two? And what does this tell you, if at all, anything about the auto sector in India?
I don't think we can point this to a geographic region. I don't think that has anything to play. I think it's more of a manufacturer, what they have, the pipeline, the way they manufacture in India. And I think the Americans just, Ford has had it's a series of things that have led up to this. They had a plant that was built to American standards, so could not manufacture very cheaply. That was one of the key issues. Products, that weren't coming out. And I think a lot of it that was riding was on a joint venture with M&M that fell through. And that is a large part of the problem of why they are exiting in this country, because, it was 3 years in the making. And in the auto industry, that's a very long time, because your future plans are made, future products are laid out. And, with this joint venture falling through, Ford just has no future products for the next few years, and that would lead them a larger blow than they already are taking. Their plant is, very underutilized. It's about 0.25% of their capacity in India is being used. So yeah, with the pandemic hit the world, every company is looking inwards hard and making some harsh decisions, and this is probably one of them, because it has been loss making for a period of time in India, and this is the best way to deal with it.
Renuka, thanks so much for speaking to Mirror Now. We're going to slip into a short break now on that note, but stay tuned. We have lots on the other side.